So we're back with the third video of the day. This one's kind of going over a little bit of miscellaneous stuff that's kind of happening. You know, they're not really, nothing really uniform about a lot of this stuff here. Some of it is, not most of it really isn't. Up first, though, we've got from Breitbart, Facebook censors Tucker Carlson for false news. Facebook has restricted the page of Tucker Carlson, the most popular cable news host in the country, smearing the Fox News host as sharing false news. Carlson posted a picture of a message his page received from Facebook informing the owners that the page now has reduced distribution and other restrictions because of repeated sharing of false news. People will also be able to see if a page has a history of sharing false news. Facebook did not specify in its message what the alleged false news consisted of or whether the restrictions would be lifted before the election. Today's censorship by Facebook, said Carlson in response, it's no coincidence that the election is just weeks away. Yeah, it's not surprising. The most prominent right side commentator, I'm not going to say he's actually like a journalist or an anchor because he just does commentary, you know, much like I do. But still, you just outright put restrictions on his page. Now, is he allowed to post? Doesn't really say. This comes amid growing pressure on Facebook from the corporate media, which alleges that conservative media dominates the platform. It alleges that, but it really doesn't. Then why are you banning them? Social media censorship is intensifying ahead of the election, while Mark Zuckerberg has previously sought to present himself to the public as a defender of political speech. His platform previously censored an ad from the Trump campaign that condemned the violent Antifa movement. Yeah. Mark Zuckerberg, you can say whatever you want in those Senate hearings. We all know what you actually believe. In the race for Florida's 21st congressional district, Facebook continues to offer a platform to incumbent Representative Lois Frankel, Democrat from Florida, while denying one to a Republican opponent, Laura Loomer. Zuckerberg previously committed not to censor politicians, but then censored politicians. Facebook has also censored conservative media. Earlier in the year, the platform scrubbed any news reporting that mentioned the name of the alleged Ukraine whistleblower. I can't actually say on YouTube, otherwise this video gets taken down. And more recently, it censored a viral Breitbart news stream of a press conference of frontline doctors discussing the COVID pandemic. Breitbart News has reached out to Facebook for comment. Comment count on the server. Oh, sorry. I guess they didn't get anything in a comment. Yeah, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. We don't care what you say in those Senate hearings because we know it's false. We know you're just going to censor anybody that doesn't agree or doesn't align with whatever you want. Talk about a dictator. Mark Zuckerberg, dictator, Facebook. Yeah. Anyways. On to the next bit of news we got from the Post-Millennial and a bunch of other news sites that had, covered it. Trump is to designate KKK and Antifa as terrorist groups and give $500 billion infusion into black communities. So he wants to give $500 billion to help the black communities to rise up, to do better. That's pretty good. Yeah, I like this. It's a pretty good platinum plan. It's condemns the Klan. It condemns Antifa, which is pretty much an international movement, I guess, an international organization. We got U.S. President Trump is about to unveil his plan for Black America. In it, the KKK and Antifa are both designated as terrorist organizations, according to Fox News. The plan also calls for making lynching a federal hate crime and for a $500 billion infusion of funds into black communities across the nation. Juneteenth is also expected to become a national holiday. See, what's good about this, well, I shouldn't say, what good can come from this money is the education and not the public schools. Those public schools are just trash. It doesn't matter where you are. The public schools are pretty much just indoctrination camps at this point. And yeah, at this point, I can't even take a public school anymore or seriously because especially after they just started wanting to teach children about the Black Lives Matter movement and Antifa and trying to get them to join in the movement, holding protests of their own, forcing these kids to raise up their hand. They don't know what they believe in. They don't know what that is. So to force them it's sickening. And hopefully this $500 billion doesn't go towards public schools then, because or at least give the children more options, better options. Maybe a charter school, private school, something in the area, something a lot better that they can go to, or possibly for free so that they can gain this education. But no. Democrats are just going to condemn this. All because it says Antifa in it. Antifa. You can't disparage Antifa now, can you, Trump? Otherwise, the Democrats will be right on you. On Friday, further details of the Platinum Plan, as it has been dubbed, are scheduled to be made available. The plan intends to help to create hundreds of thousands of new black-owned businesses and millions of jobs for the black community in general. Good. Fox News obtained a copy of the Platinum Plan. For decades, Democrat politicians like Joe Biden have taken black voters for granted. Oh, that's very true. They have not. All these Democratic strongholds in the poorest areas are usually, unfortunately, the black neighborhoods, and that's because the Democrats want to keep them that way. They want to subjugate them. Democrats were the party of slave owners. Remember that. They do not want that to go away. Even if they lost their slaves, they still wanted them. And they will try to keep them if they can. They made you big promises before every election, and then the moment they got to Washington, they abandoned you and sold you out. The Democrats will always take black voters for granted until large numbers of black Americans vote Republican. Instead of fighting for public safety for these communities, the Democrats are attacking our police and empowering far-left rioters, looters, and anarchists. In the Republican Party, we believe in protecting all black lives, including the unborn. The report purportedly contains a comprehensive section on education, and Trump is expected to commit to close schools which are not performing and promote full school choice. In addition, federal funds will be made more widely available to black churches for community-based programs. And full school choice, that is what I like to see. That's good. Because they just get dumped into these areas, and then they don't strive. They don't perform well because those public schools are awful. Just the worst. Maybe not all of them. Some of them I'm sure are fine, but the majority of them are just crap. You don't learn. You learn to behave and take orders. You don't learn to actually learn. All right, up next, we got Biden compares Trump to Nazi propaganda minister. Joe Biden compared President Trump to Nazi propaganda chief Joseph Goebbels on Saturday, accusing the president of lying about the Democratic presidential nominee's record to the American people. Speaking to MSNBC host Stephanie Ruhle, Biden and Trump has tried to reinforce the false notion that the former vice president is a socialist in an effort to win over moderate swing voters, particularly in the battleground state of Florida. He added that the GOP has struggled to effectively label him in the home stretch to Election Day. I don't know, man. It's starting to see. Are you even going to be President Biden? Because it's starting to look like Harris will take over first day. I'm not sure anybody hasn't already made up their mind. They're for Trump. But who knows? He's sort of like Goebbels. You say the lie long enough, keep repeating it, it becomes common knowledge, Biden said. Almost like the Russian collusion story, right? You keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it, and you hope it becomes true. Oh. The other week, I was too moderate, as you remember. I was too tough. And now the American people, I think they know who I am. They know my heart. They know my story, my family story. Trump is using socialism to scare and distract Floridians from a failed pandemic, he added. No, he isn't. And now Florida has reopened fully. So I'm sure those people are very happy that those lockdowns are now done. And what you said here, Biden, that is literally what you guys do. As I said, Russia collusion. 3.5 years of that. 3.5 years of you guys repeating the same lie over and over and over again. Although I don't believe it. I really don't like that they just compare him to a Nazi propaganda minister, or they'll call him Hitler, or blah. It's like, are you guys serious? Would Hitler give $500 billion to a black community black communities to help them? Someone please answer that, because I don't think he would. On to the next topic, though. We got, Florida fully lifts coronavirus restrictions on restaurants. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announced Friday the state will completely reopen its economy, allowing restaurants to operate at full capacity and barring localities from ordering business to close. And then it gives, some of the coronavirus statistics. Who knows if they're even true? Who knows? I can't say. CDC doesn't even know. They can't even get their guidelines straight. Nobody knows. But hey, Florida's coming back. They're going to be happy. That's all I'm going to say. Is the people that are in Florida right now, they're going to be happy that those lockdowns are completely done. On the next news with coronavirus then, 18 to 22-year-old banned from gathering in Boulder, Colorado after a coronavirus surge. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's illegal and very unconstitutional. You cannot just ban a very particular age group from doing anything. Like, wait, what? No. This is completely unconstitutional. This infringes on their First Amendment rights as well. And it's in civil rights, for that matter. You are particularly finding a specific age group to ban from being able to gather. Following a surge of coronavirus cases at the University of Colorado Boulder, health officials announced Thursday that 18 to 22-year-old individuals were banned from gatherings of any size for 2 weeks. So what happens after that 2 weeks? If they start gathering again, are you going to ban them for another 2 weeks? Is this coronavirus thing going to happen in colleges forever? Because we don't know any end in sight to it. Especially with universities and certain areas. It's almost going to seem like these lockdowns are going to go on until 2022. Says whether indoors or outdoors, anyone aged 18 to 22 old will not be allowed to gather for 2 weeks beginning Thursday at 4 p.m. It also includes a list of 36 addresses in Boulder, Colorado, where residents have repeatedly violated public health orders, health officials said. Wait, can they give out the addresses to private individuals in Boulder, Colorado? That almost seems illegal. That almost seems like they're trying to then dox these people. They literally just gave out the addresses. They might not have given out their names, but their exact location of where they live and saying they did something specifically bad. Even though it really wasn't. They are allowed to under their First Amendment right to gather. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the governor's edict is. It's unconstitutional. No matter what. Says the order comes after the Boulder County Public Health Department reported an upward trend in new COVID-19 cases since August 24th. The first day of the University of Colorado Boulder's fall semester, out of about 1,500 confirmed or probable cases, 1,097 or nearly 80% were affiliated with the school during that time window. Okay? But we also know between that age group, it doesn't really affect them. Maybe they get a little ill, but unless they have some comorbidities, it's not going to affect them that much. It's not going to affect most of the people that are in the area because most of them are going to then be college students. People then will claim to argue, oh, you're just going to kill grandma. Yeah, well, what about de Blasio? What about Como? They were literally putting coronavirus patients in nursing homes. What about in Michigan when they were doing that? You guys are insane. You want to then ban a very specific age group from gathering, completely denying their constitutional First Amendment right and their civil rights, for that matter. I hope all of these college students sue the F out of Boulder and the university. Anyways, that's pretty much it for these sets of news articles. What's going on? I got another video coming up. I'll see you then. Bye.